shall my pride.
Good morning to you. How are you? Good to see you again. Remind us of your name and the class you'll be teaching, please.
Okay. My name is Mrs. Quadri. I'm taking English language, figures of speech, and I'm taking GSS1.
And Mrs. Quadri, what's the objective?
To make them identify the figures of speech and use them in sentences.
Thank you.
Nice and simple. So get your slides out if you want, and then we'll start to think of setting a time. So can you see the timer up above? Up above?
Okay.
Pull it out, reset, start, good to go.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning to you.
How was the night? Very well, thank you. I'm going to write something. So before I do that, I want you to give me 2 examples of simile, as in compare something with another thing and let me have it. Thank you.
Oh, you've got an English teacher amongst you, so I'm sure you're not going to get mixed up with your simile from your metaphor. Help them out now. Discuss with them.
Good. Are we good to go? Okay. Can I have you?
As black as charcoal.
Thank you. Clap for yourself. Okay, what about you, Nika?
Please as dirty as a pig.
Wow. Clap for yourself. Let's have it blessing.
As bright as a soil.
Beautiful. Everyone clap for yourself once again. Good. So, do you thank God you're able to identify similes? So we're going to go into that, but before then, I have a special song for us, and I want you to go along with me. Now let's take it. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when times are gray. Please don't take my sunshine away. Let's do it again. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know that how much I love you, so please don't take my sunshine away. Clap yourself. Good. Now, if you look at the first line of that the song, what's the first line? Who can remind me? Okay, Nika.
You are my sunshine.
You're my sunshine. Please, who can tell me what figure of speech that is? What figure of speech is that? Let's quickly go back to the slide. Okay, I'm waiting. Nobody? Okay, there's no problem. There's no problem. You know, the brain sleeps and wakes sometimes. So that is you are my sunshine. We are trying to say someone is your sunshine. We actually don't know what the sunshine is, right?
Yeah.
But for you to now say someone, you're not saying a person now becomes your sunshine. So you are giving it a metaphor. You're giving it a direct comparison. You're saying that that person does not look like a sunshine, but actually the sunshine. Thank you. So we move. When you say figures of speech, this is when a word or phrase is used in a different way from its usual meaning in order to create particular mental picture or effect. Now, let's move to the type. We have simile, metaphor, hyperbole, irony, alliteration, and similar. So simile is when you compare things. She's like a shining star. You have to use like or as. Then we have metaphor here. We have lots of examples. The metaphor is when you also compare, you don't use as or like. So simile says you look like something, while metaphor says you are exactly that thing. Okay? So her long hair was a flowing golden river. We are trying to refer to her hair as actually being the what? The flowing golden river. So we move to hyperbole. When you exaggerate, I can drink a river dry. Can you give me an example?
I can beat a big elephant.
Okay, thank you. So we move to iron. Irony is when you have the opposite of your intention. Okay, help us out.
Mr. Question is very light.
Okay, sir.
Mr. Question is very light-skinned.
Thank you, sir. Okay, the bad news is that everybody got perfect in yesterday's test. I will say it's the bad news. Okay, let me give you an example. I am the most brilliant in the class. I have F9 in all my results.
Correct.
Right. I love my brother. I pawned all his clothes. So we move. Alliteration. This is like tongue twister. When you have the beginning of each word in your sentence having the same consonant sound. Like one of my students once said, Papa BC born BC, beat BC because BC born baby. It was actually funny. So can somebody give us one? Please let's make it fast. Okay?
Father Francis fried 5 fishes for 5 of us.
Okay, thank you. Please let's go to our. I have a little gift for you. Gift. Whatever you have in that box is your question. You have that gift. Can you open it?
Well, our time is up, I'm afraid. We will probably come to these gifts in a moment, but let's just start to give you some feedback. This is all a function of time, 5 minutes for everyone, so pardon us. But let's start with Dr. Christie. But first, tell us, which class are we looking at again, please?
JSS1.
JSS1, thank you. I thought as much, year 7. Off you go, Dr. Christie.
Mrs. Quadri,
Yes, ma'am.
that's a beautiful lesson.
Thank you.
You had your students, you brought them, you didn't make use of us. We will pardon you.
Yeah,
You wanted to participate. Yeah. You started your lesson with asking them questions, or you did not actually tell us whether they have been introduced to this topic. So I expected that you will have started with a song.
Okay.
The song, not asking them, because it's like these ones are doctored students. Okay, so the introduction of your lesson, I have a little issue with that. And then I think you also have too
Oh, you mean,
much.
should we ask them? Okay, before we start giving feedback,
Yes.
our wonderful students, thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you.
I tell you what, hand us these, we'll take one each. Countable
you.
nouns. We had that the other day from someone. Thank you very much. Yes, so, Mrs. Quadri, we're still giving you
I
feedback,
think you have too much in your lesson.
Simple.
Too much that you were the one giving the definition, so the students were not given opportunity to even think of examples.
Mm.
Then you meant, how do you call HYP?
Hyperbole.
Yeah, hyperbole. It's not
Hyperbole.
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 It is hyperbole, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Dr. Christie. Ms. Sarofi.
Yes, well done, Mrs. Quadri. I love that song, You're My Sunshine. I used to sing that for my daughter all the time.
Ah, sweet.
So I love the song, and this is the very first time that, it's been pointed out that that is actually a metaphor. It's never occurred to me, so well done for that. I think my comment is exactly the same. You had too much. For this 5-minute window, I would have just picked one of those figures of speech and done my entire 5 minutes on that one. I'm sure that you had a lot more that you wanted to do, but then we ran out of time. So that time consideration is important when you're planning any lesson. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sarofi. I'm just going to develop what both my co-judges have said. So how you would go about it is that, remember that this is a 5-minute simulation of like maybe a 50 minutes lesson. Let's just stick to a time and say, let's say the whole lesson is 50 minutes. This is a 5 minutes window into that 50 minutes lesson. So you could have had your objectives that you had maybe, 5 or 6 parts of speech that figures of speech that you'd bring to our attention. But in terms of by treating one or maximum 2, you'd have shown us how you'd have gone about the rest. It would be the same thing, maybe start with a song or with a picture and then get the students to respond to you and then develop it. But, you've done the hard part in coming up with the song, in rehearsing the song, and just use it a bit more. So when you have these instructional material, in this case the song, just try and get them to exploit it to the full. Exploit it maximally so that the students get the learning or they're more engaged in the learning. And you're doing less while they are doing more. They're thinking more, they're challenged more. And that's really the hallmark of a good lesson, because when it comes to the exam, only what they can retain, the deep-seated learning, is what they're going to be able to use to get those good marks. Yeah? So well done, you're doing well, and I've seen an improvement in your lessons. Don't be like that. This lesson is a lot better than a number of the others you've worked with before. And the topic's very interesting, and you have presented it in an interesting way. Just use the excitement that you've generated to bring in the students a bit more. Yeah?
So what is this task? What were they supposed to
It's
do
a
with it?
game. It's,
Okay.
sorry, it's a gift from me to them.
Oh, a gift.
So whatever gift they say inside, they give me an example of something.
Okay.
A metaphor. So I was supposed to give you an example of a metaphor.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Okay.
irony.
His face, I'm about to put as in it. His face shone as the moon. No, that's a simile, because I put
yeah.
as in there.
Yeah.
I wandered lonely as a cloud. Look, you can take.
That's as again.
Oh, I put as in there. Okay. I wandered lonely, yeah, as a cloud. Well, I was about to give you William Wordsworth there, but no. Okay, not to worry. We're thinking. Give us an example of a metaphor then. So
Metaphor. Okay. She is a lion in the class.
Good.
She is a lion, meaning it's not as if she's actually the lion, but she has this one of the traits of a lion, of being fierce
Yes.
in the class.
I am the eagle of this class. Thank you very much.
Well done.
Take care.
Teacher me, my teacher, my